welcome to this explainer. All right, today we are taking a trip deep into the prehistoric past. And you'll want to brace yourself for this one, because we're going to uncover a beast so massive, so incredibly, incomprehensibly huge, that it basically rewrites everything we thought we knew about the natural world. My goal here is for you to feel the true, visceral scale of the creature that once absolutely dominated our planet.
Picture this for a second. A reptile, literally the size of a passenger bus, staring you down with a glowing yellow eye in the pitch black. A creature that weighs as much as a fully loaded car. Now, this is a predator that doesn't even need venom to take you out. Instead, it wraps its massive body around its prey, crushing bones to absolute dust before swallowing it whole in one terrifying gulp. It kind of makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? Is the anaconda truly the biggest monster on Earth? Well, if you thought the anaconda was the absolute peak of reptilian size, you are in for a shock, because you clearly haven't heard about the undisputed king that ruled the globe 60 million years ago.
Okay, let's dive right into this. To really appreciate our ancient king, we first need to quickly size up the modern rulers of the snake world. Take the green anaconda down in the Amazon. It holds the current crown for sheer weight and muscle mass. I mean, it is practically a living, breathing hydraulic press. Its muscles generate this unimaginable pressure that can literally squeeze the life out of the jungle's toughest animals in seconds. And then over in Asia, you have the reticulated python. This guy holds the world record for length, stretching out to over 10 meters of deadly, perfectly camouflaged flexibility. So these are our modern titans. But as impressive and honestly terrifying as they are, their stats completely pale in comparison to what we're looking at next.
To find our true monster, we actually have to jump back a bit to the year 2009, specifically to the Cerrejón coal mine in Colombia. Imagine the scene. It's a dark, gritty, super heavy industrial environment. Miners are just digging deep into the black walls of the earth, surrounded by nothing but coal and dust. Then, suddenly, a pickaxe strikes something solid. But it's not coal. It's this massive, completely unnatural fossilized bone. The sheer size of what they pulled out of the dirt literally shocked the scientific community to its core. They hadn't just found a dinosaur. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't a dinosaur at all. They had found the vertebrae of an extinct giant snake, a creature they eventually named Titanoboa.
Now, what's absolutely wild here is the staggering reality behind this number, 1,000. That is exactly how much the Titanoboa weighed in kilograms. 1,000 kilograms. That is a full, literal ton of pure, cold-blooded muscle. Think about it. When we talk about giant snakes today, we measure them in, what, tens of kilograms? Maybe 100 if it's an absolute unit. So to find a serpent weighing a full metric ton, it completely shattered the biological ceilings we thought existed for anything that slithers.
And right on the heels of that insane weight is its length, 15 meters. Let's make that a bit more visceral, just to really put it in perspective. If this creature were to somehow stand straight up on its tail out on your front lawn, it would be able to look you directly in the eye through a second-story window. Just let that terrifying image sink in for a second. A full ton of muscle, stretching 15 meters long, casually peering into your upstairs bedroom? No, thank you.
And this comparison brilliantly illustrates exactly what those numbers mean in the real world. We aren't talking about some exaggerated, cartoonish proportions here. We are talking about terrifyingly real, photorealistic scale. At 15 meters, the Titanoboa matches up perfectly with a full-size yellow passenger bus. And the weight? It rivals a complete car. So you are essentially looking at an apex predator with the footprint of public transit and the density of a motor vehicle, just silently weaving its way through the prehistoric underbrush.
So naturally, you have to ask, what on earth fuels a biological machine of that size? I mean, a beast of this magnitude certainly wasn't surviving on rats or small birds. Its daily diet consisted of the absolute heavyweights of the prehistoric era. We are talking about giant, armor-plated prehistoric turtles, and even more incredibly, massive prehistoric crocodiles. The Titanoboa would literally ambush these lethal crocodiles, crush them with that ton of hydraulic muscle, and then swallow them entirely whole. To a Titanoboa, a giant ancient crocodile was basically just a light snack.
So the absolutely crucial point here is how. How did it get so unbelievably massive? Why don't we have snakes this large today? Well, it comes down to biology. Snakes are cold-blooded, which means their internal temperature and ultimately their metabolic ability to grow is completely dictated by their environment. Earth 60 million years ago was this world of extreme, sweltering heat and stiflingly high humidity. This hothouse climate essentially acted like a giant incubator, totally removing the natural limits on cold-blooded growth. Fast forward to modern Earth, and our climate today is vastly cooler, which biologically restricts cold-blooded reptiles from ever reaching those nightmarish proportions again.
Let's move on and see how this builds toward the creature's ultimate fate. 60 million years ago, the Titanoboa was the undisputed ruler of its lush, humid jungle domain. But as time marched on, Earth's climate began to undergo massive shifts. The entire globe slowly cooled down. That sweltering hothouse faded away. And as the temperatures dropped, so did the Titanoboa's ability to survive. Eventually, this global cooling resulted in the extinction of these absolute giants. The Earth simply became way too cold to support a 1-ton snake. Or did it? Think about the vast, largely unexplored frontiers still left on our planet today. The deep, winding basin of the Amazon, the incredibly dense, almost impenetrable African jungles. There are massive tracts of these humid, fog-covered rainforests that remain completely untouched by human feet. These are habitats where the heat and humidity are still incredibly stifling. Places so remote and so densely packed with ancient flora that we honestly have no real idea what is truly moving beneath the canopy.
So I'll leave you with this. Did these giants really disappear completely? With so much of our world's deepest, darkest, and wettest jungles still totally unseen by human eyes, is it possible? I really want you to think about it. Could some distant descendant of the Titanoboa still be slithering out there in the dark right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And remember, always keep questioning what you think you know about our world.